So in this first section, we're just going to have a little introduction to chemistry. A lot of people seem to be intimidated by chemistry, but we're going to break it down, and over the year, you'll find that hopefully it's not as intimidating as it initially sounds. So a lot of the questions that people might have that relate to chemistry and that they really don't realize it. Acid rain, what is it? What causes it? Is it harmful? What about fireworks? Why are they different colors? How does that happen? We'll do a lab looking at different colors made by different chemicals burning. How do we make medicines? We'll have to be cautious of how things interact with each other, how they interact with the body, some of those side effects. Looking at tires expanding in the summer. Why does that happen? How does that relate to chemistry? We'll be looking at molecules, how they expand and heat, contract, and cool. Why does ice melt? It seems like a simple question, but it's something that if you look at it at the molecular level, it's actually a little bit more complicated than we initially think. And then diamonds and graphite. If they're both made of carbon, why are they so different? So chemistry is going to be the study of the composition, structure, and properties of matter and the changes that they undergo. So we'll be looking at elements. What are those elements? How do they react when put together? What makes them react? And things like that. And it's called the central science. Central science meaning that when you look at other sciences, biology, geology, meteorology, all of those are going to be able to be tied back to chemistry. And again, looking at molecules, elements, airflow, heat. And so even things like agriculture and farming that seem very simple, there's a lot of chemistry involved. So throughout the year, I'll be throwing in little jokes and puns to kind of keep us entertained. So one thing I would like for you to think about, and will be in the questions below, what are some local jobs related to chemistry? Obviously, chemistry teacher comes to mind off the top of a lot of people's heads, but what are some other jobs that you could find in our community that someone is going to have taken chemistry in college, or they may even use chemistry on a daily basis? What about the branches of chemistry? So we're going to look at 6 branches of chemistry: organic, inorganic, physical, analytical, biochemistry, and theoretical. What are all those going to look at? What are they going to study? And what do they all mean? The first type of chemistry we're going to look at is organic. Organic means that the compound is carbon-based. All structures of life, everything that was once living or is currently living, is going to be a carbon-based compound. So organic chemistry is typically thought of as a more difficult, complex study of chemistry. If someone would be taking maybe a medical path or a more advanced science type of degree in college, they would have to take organic chemistry. In our class, we're going to be studying mostly what's called inorganic chemistry, and these are not carbon-based. They're more simple type of compounds, and most of what we'll study will look at this. At the end of the year, we will look at a little bit of organic, but for the most part, inorganic. And also, just because something has carbon doesn't mean that it can't be an inorganic compound. If we think of something like carbon dioxide, which we exhale, it has carbon, but it's not something that is actually alive. Physical chemistry is going to look at the properties and changes of matter and how they are related in a sense of energy, energy flow. If you think of things getting hotter and cooler, how does that energy relate to matter. Analytical chemistry is going to look at composition. Think of the term analyzing. And so they're going to basically analyze molecules. Biochemistry goes back to looking at living things, similar to organic, but also looking at processes that might be in the body. How do we break down our food? Some of the processes that we study in biology, respiration, things like that are going to be biochemistry based. Theoretical chemistry is going to be using math, computers to try to theorize the behavior of molecules and predict how we might have